So, why is the right attacking education? When we delve into the history of humanity, particularly over the past century, we observe a distinct pattern in the realm of education. In the imperial core, our current education systems are explicitly designed with a singular objective: to transform children into efficient worker bees. The education system relentlessly churns out generation after generation of uninspired, depressed, and burned out individuals who lack the historical knowledge necessary to develop any form of class consciousness. Without this awareness, they remain incapable of challenging the capitalist systems that exploit them. The dissatisfaction expressed by many Gen Z students is a direct consequence of this flawed system. With unprecedented access to the internet and diverse learning tools, these students have come to realize that their schools are fundamentally inadequate. They see an overwhelming focus on quantity rather than quality in education. The prescribed learning goals are often unreasonable, monotonous, and a waste of time. This is a direct result of the capitalist nature of the education system, which prioritizes creating a workforce over nurturing critically thinking individuals. However, even with all of education's shortcomings, schools are not a total failure. They still impart a considerable amount of knowledge to students despite systemic issues. Over the years, there have been attempts to reform the education system to something more effective. While the success of these efforts can be debated, it is evident that some progress has been made, albeit limited. You cannot expect to teach children about wars, colonialism, revolutions, the rise of capitalism, and other historical events without some of them questioning and potentially revolting against the system. Whilst most students may not develop socialist ideas solely through their schooling, education does provide some tools that, combined with external influences, can lead to such awareness. Despite efforts to present history in a one-sided, colonialist, and white supremacist manner, there is a limit to how much this can be maintained while pretending that education does not serve capitalist interests. As the capitalist system begins to falter, something that we are currently living through, which is evident in the current surge of fascism, it starts to dismantle its institutions, including education, which is often the first one that is targeted. Education stands as the foremost tool against capitalism because it can, as we just mentioned, empower children with critical thinking skills, which is a key part of fostering a generation determined to abolish the capitalist system. Right-wing politicians know this, so they have started to target education to keep their voter base uninformed and susceptible to fascist propaganda. By attacking education, they aim to make sure that no one can develop any form of critical thinking or historical awareness that could lead to a revolt against the capitalist system. They want a future where no one ever fights back, allowing them to do whatever they want. This becomes painfully obvious when you notice that the current attacks on education mirror the methods employed by the Nazis before their rise to power. Right-wing politicians use scapegoating and fear-mongering to incite hysteria among parents about their children's education, claiming that schools are indoctrinating children with dangerous ideas. They argue that schools are turning children gay, trans, or against religious values. This rhetoric drives parents towards homeschooling and alternative schooling options that promote conservative ideals and discredits the public school system, making the public hostile against it. This way, when politicians start talking about creating a woke free school environment, reactionary parents will back up their initiatives. This allows the capitalists to create an education system straight out of a cyberpunk dystopian sci-fi movie that seemingly acts more like a prison than a school. The ultimate goal is to create an environment where successive generations are trapped in a loop of right-wing ideologies, preventing any progress towards ending capitalism. From a Marxist perspective, education is the most potent tool in the fight against capitalism. It is through education that we can radicalize the next generation, instilling in them the knowledge and critical thinking skills necessary to challenge and ultimately dismantle the oppressive system they inherit. The right-wing assault on education is a calculated effort to counteract this. At the end of the day, to capitalism, education is a double-ended sword because it allows them to educate people to be better workers, but by doing so, they risk creating revolutionary workers. The right's attack on education is a strategic move to perpetuate the capitalist system when it's failing, to prevent the emergence of a class-conscious, critically thinking generation capable of enacting significant social change. By drawing on tactics of scapegoating, fear-mongering, and other fascist ploys, they aim to instill conservative ideals and maintain control over the populace. For those of us committed to a Marxist vision of a world free from oppression and human misery, the defense and transformation of education into a tool of liberation is paramount. Only through a radically reimagined education system can we hope to create a society that exists beyond the realm of exploitation and suffering. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support us and also stay updated on future episodes, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Additionally, you can support us on Patreon or visit our website to learn about alternative non-monetary ways to support our work. Join our public Discord server to become part of our community and submit questions for our Q&A on the monthly Politdigm podcast. Also, don't forget to drop a comment with questions you would like us to cover. Anyways, good studies, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.